into the land of Dawn. Let's find out who is going to come out on top here for our very first game. Will it be our defending champions or the antagonists directly challenging their throne?
All right, welcome to the land of Dawn. The very first game here at MPL MY. Get excited for this one, especially with these two high-caliber teams. We're expecting a lot out of them, and the fact that Suyo was not picked up is a big question mark, but hey, at least we might experience a metagame as if it didn't exist in the first place. Now, speaking of compositions, right, as Stafa mentioned, Team Vamos, they're not going to find a lot of priority other than the mid lane, and that's highly dependent on the skill level of this 2v2. No matter what, Yumzin as well as Stormy are going to be walking away with more help than Kalkun and Zorn, despite them actually bringing in the Concussive Blast with Zorn and the help of the G Kundo to split things up.
And of course, one of the most important things when you're dealing with a Kalea is that push control, right? You want to make sure that Kalea doesn't get any priority. If not, she can get a lot of cheeky engages, especially on this mid side. Not able to dodge that tidal strike, but still, look at the trade. Like you didn't mention, SRG OG walks away with more health.
Now, there are a couple of things that are a little, I would say vaguely could be a problem later down the line, and one of them is the way that Smooth plays his lane. As Badang, generally in the earlier stages, once you hit level 4, you want to sandbag the lane as much as you can and build up as many Thunderbelt stacks as you can, right? This is on the assumption that he wants to scale in that manner rather than just going for full tank, which we've seen a lot of international teams do across the board. Cram, on the other hand, he really wants to win this lane.
He's taking the flicker too.
I think Vamos already know they want to play for this EXP. They want to avoid Cram winning out the lane since he already has lane priority. They want to give Badang a bit more space, so the instant roam up top instead of prioritizing the goal lane to make sure that they're able to keep themselves in the game early on.
Not to mention that I think that at least one of the POIs other than Turtle that both teams would want to play for, especially the junglers, is that EXP Crab. EXP is going to be such a big difference maker in the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Kalkun is going to be the target. They jump him, forces Purify out, and First Blood almost attained. The blast missed, and in fact, First Blood for Team Vamos as they lose the guy. Storm now finds the king on the Stormy, but knocked back by Cram. Flickers to safety, and Vamos off to a good start.
That was literally the most perfect way Team Vamos could have taken that fight. They didn't take any casualties despite the attempted split up by SRG. And in fact, they ended up splitting them up themselves, with Zorn even taking First Blood 1v1 against Skies on the Hayabusa.
Maybe if Call couldn't end up dropping to SRG, it could have been a little bit more worth it. But hey, at the end of the day, it does mean that GB now has a full level lead against the Skies, which means that Joy can get a little bit more aggressive. Now, keep in mind that Skies is playing Hayabusa, and there is an expectation of I need to get kills as early as possible to get the ball rolling. If he doesn't find that, that means that Team Vamos will eventually come to a point where they outscale SRG OG.
And they put a lot of investment into Sagais, right? With the initial bans. Again, Phobius, Hilda, they want to make sure that Sagais, he gets his hands on the Hayabusa, he gets a good time. Obviously, for Team Vamos, just off of that small interaction, they've already amassed a 1.2k gold advantage, which for a comp that usually doesn't play as fast as you want them to, it's pretty good.
It's actually really good, right? They literally have Granger and Cecilion, two of the most late-game heroes in the entire game. And SRG is playing Kalea, Lucas, and Hayabusa. There's actually a timer on the SRG side where they need to be somewhat ahead in the early to mid-game to make sure that they don't just get completely outscaled, and that timing is already starting to pass.
I mean, Zaya has done a really great job with the way that he looks at the draft. Like, here we go, next fight.
Trying to punish Zorn. Zorn still get the knockup and the king! Disastrous for SRG OG, losing 2 and not even getting Zorn, as he reminds them who he truly is.
This is actually incredible from Team Vamos. Their positioning is so clean, and from a lineup you wouldn't expect to be this strong this early.
I think a lot of good decisions were made. Smooth knows that he's a level above his opponent in a lane in Cram, but more importantly, the gold plating is still up. Even if Cram is to get a little bit more gold, it doesn't really change the lane state at all. So Smooth is able to walk off of it, take 0 structural damage, and sacrificing a little bit of gold to get people ahead.
Good flicker from you to escape that, but still, that is a big resource expended. think we can also take some time to talk about the Beatrix pick from Innocent, right? He was forced into this hero selection. The last time we saw him on Beatrix was almost never. The only time he got on Beatrix, it wasn't really the best game from him. So Xayah really putting his finger on the pain point of this gold lane.
I mean, he can force out the lane as soon as possible, but we're looking for that big Kalia-Beatrix combo or something of the sort. They need to get the ball rolling. They need to start taking that gold lead back. If not, Team Vamos is going to double their lead by that 8th minute.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very important timing here for both these teams, right? Team Vamos will feel very... Oh, hold on.
I think that the only target is going to be Smooth. They're trying to blow him up. He's terrified. Good kill going over to Innocent. He needed that goal.
Look at the map pressure on the top side. GB will be able to take a tier 1 for himself. Solo bolos the tower, and that's what you want to see from Vamos, right? Again, EXP in the... Oh, hold on.
Okay. Able to make a quick retreat in the mid side, thankfully.
Wow, I'm surprised that Zorn didn't go for the kick there. I think they had enough resources to force it out, but I guess trading Sacred Beast for a Flicker Way of the Dragon might not be the best.
Yeah, I think they were in a bit of a transitory period as well on the map, right? TV was just coming back from that top lane after pushing it up, so I don't think the team was in a state where they really wanted to force a fight just yet, even though it seemed like it could have been a pretty easy pickoff. And Team Vamos is quite comfortable with this, right? They're already notably ahead quite early on.
They're trying to go on to Chibi, who is now caught completely alone. Flickers forward from Stormy. So guys finds a good punish.
Oh, so far, the battle spells are working out for SRG OG Esports, right? I mean, Team Vamos, they're the ones taking the safe battle spells. Clawkun as well as Nexpresso, both taking Purify for good reason. Oh!
Another cash into a slam dunk. Innocent with a second one.
Fast pace, fast moving, Slimer Red Giants clap back instantly, making sure that this next turtle falls into this hand, and it's always the first and third turtles that you should be keeping your eyes on.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit more of that signature SRG playstyle. They've always been known to not be the most effective early game team. Hold on.
Trying to get punished for sure, right? A 3-1 delivered to Chibi. As much as SRG kind of balance out the skills a little bit, still got to work on that macro game, right? Both side lane tier 1s have gone down. They did get the top tier 1, but bottom tier 2 threatened by Chibi.
I'm pretty sure Stormy checked that bush, and I saw Zorn lose a little health. So it should have been known. I guess they just had no confirmation of whether or not he was going to stick around and find out, and apparently they found out pretty soon. Even though tier 2 are now being threatened on the bottom side, we're seeing that Vamos is now clumping up real fast.
Oh, good trigger finger on the electrifying beat.
Excellently done. Team Vamos really showing themselves here. This is a team with a recent tournament experience, and we've already seen signs of their improvement. They've always been striving to reach the top, the heights of MPL MY once again, and I'm really starting to see signs of that.
When you fall short of the trophy 2 seasons in a row, you gotta really start feeling something inside.
I don't know. 2 seasons sounds like an understatement considering the history of all these players known to like not make it to groups, known to not even make it to playoffs, to now consistently hitting playoffs but not getting championships.
It's a tough journey, but they're getting there. Again, if they take down SRG OG in this opening series, that is gonna at least secure them the point that they otherwise would have struggled to get.
Looking at the goal difference right now, obviously still leaning a little bit towards the Vamos side. They're still sitting on a roughly a 2K goal lead, though a lot of that actually going on Nexpresso. We have to remember, the Granger and Cecilion have just been racking up assists slowly in the backline. They haven't really even been threatened this entire game.
And it looks like, oh, this T2 is going to fall as well. Nicely set up by Team Vamos. At the same time, it feels like as much as their macro feels a little better here, their execution seems to be very sharp, and it looks like maybe the first time in a long time that we're seeing that week 1, day 1 games are going to be high quality.
So you start off on a good note for the opening one, right? I mean, it's a Grand Finals rematch. Can't go anything worse than that. Although I would say the SRG needs to start looking at these side lanes, right? Because Vamos, they're playing into what they're good at, these sideways management with that joy, with the Granger. It's making life for SRG OG's life, making life for SRG OG hard, especially with this Lord coming up.
Yeah, I really love the way that Vamos has been approaching the macro this game. Every time they're doing something, they're trading for something else on the opposite side of the map. They lose a body, they get a tower, and it is so worth it for them every time. Because remember, this is a lineup that actually doesn't mind being a little behind in goal, and they're ahead.
And that's going to be Stormy eliminated. Deleted by Zorn once more. Nexpresso finds the kill, and Lord is open. Let's try. Yum goes in, tries to get a grab into a full combo, but that is Smooth. He's going to eat all of it up, and Chibi dances on the Yums. Backline threat, the Nexpresso somehow gets away. Cram will look for a retreat, and as SRG OG, hang on for now, but maybe not Cram, who leads the way. and they are able to stall out the Lord take.
Really nice reaction time coming in from Smooth, man. Making sure he drops that ult to delay Kalea, giving the rest of the team Vamos a heads up about the engagement.
It's giving him so much space, right? And Vamos just zones them out. They get the Lord. Vamos is playing this clinically. It is so impressive to see how much they've improved.
Hey, he's playing with fire.
Whoa.
He's playing with all fire. He's like, a couple more stacks, please. And Sicilian is like, sure, you can have the final hits. Just let me impact it one more time. Now, looking at the items, funny thing, most people, and especially when we look at Badang players, right? Thunderbelt, Oracle immediately after to make sure you have max CDR as soon as possible. Instead, he goes for the Brute Force Breastplate, meaning that Smooth does want to be somewhat of a threat if he ever catches Stormy, if not Innocent in these engagements.
Yeah, Shadow Q to clear out the mid wave just to delay that push a little bit. They understood how important that tower is to them. But hey, it's good to see that Smooth has finally integrating himself fully into the roster, right? Play fast, play aggressive. We saw him 8 at full Banner's Rage and he still survived with half health.
Yeah, having that item advantage really helps a lot, especially against a hero like Beatrix that does need those items. And Netfresco already starting to be a pain in the butt. Stormy just taken out of the fight through pure poking without being able to do much about it himself. All of the towers in the side lanes are now gone, and that is so much space for Vamos to start working on the middle ones.
Yep, this is where it all starts to crumble. This is what we expect to see from Team Vamos, especially with the first Lord of that game. You get so much, it already can charge in. T2s are basically known as econ towers. They're free gold for you to take on the map. However, that mid T1 and T2 are by far the most important structures in the map because it opens up the entire jungle on the enemy side. And with that being said, now Chibi can play a more assassin-like behavior, right? Hopping over walls from multiple angles to try and spread apart SRG.
And Zoran gonna get kidnapped into a full combo. They need to blow him up, and he has immortality! The item switch at the last second, Zoran somehow gets out of it. Hume will also escape the Death Sonata. What a reaction from Zoran. Sakai still wants more though, hops in, goes to the Shadow Kill Chibi, disperses it, and Sakai finds nothing.
Unlucky.
Somehow, no casualties on either side. Really good reaction timing from both teams, but the pressure clearly in favor of Team Vamos. The item of the fact that Zorn was able to grab the immortality in that small amount of time that he was being grabbed in and pelted with the Bennett's Rage goes to show this is a veteran player. He may have been here a long time, but he has not lost it.
No, his mechanics are still top-notch here. That's why he doesn't want to waste this season at all. He doesn't want to retire this soon. Conceal.
Here they come. This could be it. Second attempt. That's going to be Nespresso with the one. But he still goes down. The Stormy. Chibi runs him down. Grab and use wants to hold the back line, but it's not easy though. Innocent and Sakai still alive. They will try to keep this right in for his passion. Goes down, but Innocent flickers forward and the front row. Back like Clockwood. Winter Truncheon will delay his death, but Chibi comes in to pick up Innocent. Doesn't win the fight. And it's a 4-for-4 trade.
Oh my goodness, one more auto attack was the kill. Difference maker there. Had he gotten one more auto attack, that would have been a quadra for Innocent himself. GB, a really good shutdown, but this means that Sakai gets to push the turrets back, gets some structural damage, permanent structural damage on Team Vamos.
And even trade right now is actually pretty good for SRG OG. They needed some control on the map no matter what they needed to trade to get it. And that is actually 5 total kills for Innocent right there. So that's going to be a good amount of gold injection into their gold laner. Already getting close to that full build. Just needs the 2 more items left. Team Vamos needs to be a bit more careful now. SRG has adjusted their playstyle. They are going for the carries.
Well, here's the thing. Although the carries are going to be afraid, are very fearful here. I think that Qualcomm making a defensive build. Oh, hold on.
Kidnap on the Zorn, no immortality this time. Go down. Lord dropping low. Less than 10k HP. Sakai wants to arrive in time. Finds the steal. Daylight robbery for SRG OG. Chibi gets out, but not for long. A snipe from Innocent and SRG OG have found their way back.
Nespresso, he just doesn't have enough stacks. He doesn't have enough stacks, man. He was 1-0. He was 1-0-4 previous. No, sorry, 1-0-2 previously. But each of those kills just being an assist ain't giving him as many stacks as he would like to. And then having cut in half after that death in the middle of that fight. it's just so many things are slipping through their fingers, and SRG now with the second Lord of the game are looking for inhibitors, and that's going to be some serious damage.
Yeah, in one fell swoop, SRG has reversed the gold lead, and despite the space that was created the entire time for Nets, he hasn't been able to build up that true threat potential. Unfortunately,
Oh no, they kidnap Zorn again. That's a flicker out. If you were Panas Rage, everything used to kick on the Sakai. Zorn! How do you do that? And Kram's now baited under the turret, has to fall back with the help of Stormy, but they have bought some space. Move doesn't want to let up, but he has to let Kram go.
Dude, Sky's just got not today, kid, real quick. He manages to flicker out of here. He puts himself underneath the turret, and unfortunately, Sakai forgets about the Way of the Dragon, thinking that he could get the shadow kill off faster. Zorn says, not today.
It's just that subconscious thought, right? Surely he doesn't have his ult in this moment. Surely I can get one more hit in before I commit the OD shadow kill. But those small moments make all the difference against a player like Zorn with that kind of experience on show. Team Vamos regaining a bit more control now. The net worth is even between these teams.
Oh, they're looking real sharp today. 45.8 to 45.8. 9 to 10, 15 minutes into the game. I'm thinking that this is going to break into the 20 minutes, of course. This next Lord is trying to be set up here. Yulums is looking for a pick.
Another kidnap on the Zorn. He does have Immo this time, so he will send Yus back into his team. Sakai comes in from the flank. Falcon and Espesco endangered, but they will still get out. Move eats up all the damage. Crab in the backline finds it. Falcon goes down, and Innocent uncontested. And now Crab will have to do as much work as he can. Innocent with the passion blows all of them up. And once more, Innocent will be the hero for SRG.
Two shots.
A savage in the opening game of MPL MY Season 15 for Innocent.
That's our MVP right there.
Continuously breaking records non-stop. The Innocent Beast, a savage on the debut match, the debut game of MPL Malaysia Season 15. As SRG defies